Today, I want to speak to you about something that many of us struggle with every single day. It is something that steals our time, our energy, and our dreams. That thing is laziness. You know this feeling very well. You want to start working, you want to study, you want to change your life, but somehow you keep delaying. You tell yourself, I will do it tomorrow, but tomorrow comes and nothing changes. Laziness feels comfortable, but comfort often hides danger. It is soft on the outside, but sharp on the inside, because in the end, it gives us regret. Let me share a simple story. Imagine a young man. Every night, he goes to bed with a plan. He says, tomorrow I will wake up early. I will read. I will exercise. I will study English. I will do everything right. But when the morning comes, he stays in bed. His alarm rings. He turns it off. He tells himself, 5 more minutes. Those 5 minutes become 30 minutes. 30 minutes become 2 hours. Soon, the morning is gone. He feels guilty, but then he opens his phone and starts scrolling. He watches videos, he checks social media, he laughs at jokes. Time disappears, and in the evening, he says again, tomorrow will be different. But tomorrow never comes, because laziness repeats. Now, let's compare this with another picture. Imagine another young man, same age, same life. He also feels lazy in the morning, but instead of staying in bed, he tells himself, just stand up, just one small step. He does not think about the whole day. He does not think about every task. He only thinks, get up now. So, he stands up, he washes his face, he makes his bed. These small actions give him energy. He feels more awake, so he opens his book. He reads only 5 minutes, but after 5 minutes, something happens. He feels momentum. He feels a little stronger. He keeps going. By the end of the day, he has finished his tasks. He feels proud, not guilty. The difference between the two young men is not talent. It is not luck. It is the choice to act in the moment instead of waiting for the perfect feeling. This is the problem many of us face. We believe we must feel ready before we start. We think motivation will arrive like magic. But here is the truth. Waiting for motivation is the biggest trap. Laziness loves waiting. Laziness whispers in your ear, not now, later, tomorrow. And if you listen, your future becomes smaller. The years pass, and your dream stays a dream. But I want to give you hope, because there is a mental trick that can change everything. It is simple, but powerful. And the best part is this. You do not need to wait for the perfect time. You do not need to change your whole life in one day. You can start with just one small step right now. In this video, you will learn this secret. You will discover how to stop being lazy, how to take control of your life, and how to move closer to your goals. At the same time, you will also practice English. This video is not only about motivation, it is also about learning. As you listen, you will see useful English expressions. You will learn how to describe your feelings, your actions, and your daily life. You will learn how to tell your own story, just like the stories you hear here. Every sentence you practice will not only give you language, but also give you strength for life. So this is a journey of 2 gifts, better English and a better self. Let me ask you a question. Do you want to keep living in the shadow of laziness, or do you want to stand in the light of action? Think of the contrast. On one side is the lazy life, sleeping late, scrolling, excuses, regret. On the other side is the action life, Small steps, clear focus, daily discipline, pride. Which side do you choose? Which side feels more alive? When you look closely, you will see that laziness is not stronger than you. Laziness is only a habit, and habits can change. You are not lazy by nature. You are only stuck in lazy patterns. But patterns can be broken, and once you break them, you become a new person. You move from being a victim to being empowered. You stop waiting, and you start creating. I know it is not easy. Change never feels easy in the beginning, but that is why this video is here. Together, step by step, we will explore the secret that nobody tells you. You will see how to trick your brain, how to defeat excuses, how to build momentum, and how to create discipline. Each part will give you both motivation and language. Each part will move you closer to your goals. So stay with me. Open your heart, open your mind, and listen carefully. This is not just another video to watch and forget. This is a guide, a mentor, a push forward. Imagine yourself at the end of this journey, more confident, more focused, more powerful, speaking English with strength, living life with purpose. That is the future waiting for you. And the first step is always the same. Begin. Take one action, even small. Because when you begin, you change. When you begin, you discover energy you did not know you had. When you begin, laziness loses its power. Now, let us move forward together and discover the hidden cost of laziness. Section 1. The hidden cost of laziness. Laziness always looks small in the moment, but it grows bigger and heavier as time passes. At first, it feels harmless. You tell yourself, I will start later. I still have time. You take the easy choice because it feels safe and comfortable. But when you add these small choices together, day after day, year after year, the result is pain, regret, and lost dreams. Laziness is like a silent thief. It does not shout. It does not run. It simply steals your life one moment at a time. Think about a young student. Every morning, he wakes up late. His alarm rings, but he does not rise. He tells himself, 5 more minutes will not hurt me. Those 5 minutes become an hour. He rushes through his morning, already stressed. He goes to class, but his mind is not ready. Later in the evening, he promises himself, tomorrow I will do better. But tomorrow looks exactly the same as today. His days repeat like a circle. From the outside, it looks like nothing serious. But inside, he is losing something precious: time. Now, let us move forward in his story. 10 years pass. He is no longer a student. He is now an adult. But he looks back and asks himself, why am I still in the same place? Why am I still dreaming but not living my dreams? The answer is clear. He gave laziness too much power. He chose comfort over effort too many times. He thought he had more time, but time kept moving. And now he feels regret, a heavy sadness because he cannot return to those lost days. This is the hidden cost of laziness. You do not pay it immediately. You pay it later when the years are gone. The easy path looks smooth, but it secretly builds walls around you. At first you enjoy the soft bed, the phone in your hand, the empty promise of later, but later becomes never, and never becomes your story. Now imagine another picture. A student, same age, same life, same challenges. He also feels lazy in the morning. The alarm rings, and he too wants to stay in bed. But he tells himself, stand up now. He washes his face. He takes a deep breath. He opens his book, even if just for 10 minutes. Those 10 minutes build strength. He goes to class prepared. He listens. He asks questions. He writes notes. Day by day, his small choices grow into something bigger. 10 years later, he looks back and he smiles. He is not perfect, but he has moved forward. His small steps built a strong life. His reward is not regret, but pride. Do you see the contrast? One person chooses comfort. Another person chooses action. Both feel the same laziness in the beginning, but their futures are completely different. Laziness gives nothing but emptiness. Effort gives growth, confidence, and joy. Let us make it even simpler. Imagine two roads. The first road is soft and easy. You walk slowly, you sit down, you take naps, you stop often. It feels pleasant, but at the end of the road, you find nothing, only an empty field. The second road is harder. It has stones and hills. It demands energy, but step by step, you move forward. At the end of this road, you see a beautiful view. You see a strong self. The question is, which road will you walk? The truth is, laziness is not just about wasting hours. Laziness changes who you become. Every lazy choice says to your brain, I am weak. I cannot do it. I will wait. Every active choice says, I am strong. I can take the first step. I can grow. Your identity is shaped by these small daily decisions. You do not wake up successful one day by luck. You build success by choosing action again and again. I want you to feel this deeply. Picture yourself in the future. If you keep delaying, if you keep saying tomorrow, what will your life look like in 5 years? Will you speak English with confidence? Will you have the job you dream of? Or will you still be waiting for the perfect day to start? This picture is the hidden cost of laziness. Dreams that stay locked in your mind instead of becoming reality. But there is also another picture. Imagine 5 years from now if you take action daily, even small action. 5 minutes of reading English today, 10 minutes of writing tomorrow. Small steps in your work, your health, your relationships. These moments grow together into a strong life. In 5 years, you speak with confidence. You have skills. You have discipline. You feel proud of yourself. The cost of action is effort today, but the reward is freedom tomorrow. The lesson is clear. Laziness looks cheap, but the price is high. Effort looks expensive, but the reward is priceless. Every time you choose comfort, you borrow from your future. Every time you choose action, you invest in your future. That is the difference between regret and pride. So now, ask yourself, do you want to pay the cost of laziness, or do you want to enjoy the reward of action? You cannot choose both. Life always asks for a choice. And here is the good news. Once you see the true cost of laziness, you gain power. When you know the thief, you can stop it from stealing. The first step to change is always awareness. Now you understand that laziness is not free. You know that it quietly steals your dreams. This understanding is the beginning of freedom. In the next part of our journey, we will go deeper. We will see why motivation fails and why so many people cannot escape laziness, even when they want to. Once you understand the trap, you can learn how to escape it. And then, you can discover the mental trick that will finally break the chain of laziness. Section 2. Why motivation fails. Many people believe motivation is the secret to success. They think, if I feel motivated, I will act. If I do not feel motivated, I cannot act. But this idea is dangerous, because motivation is short and weak. It comes quickly, but it also disappears quickly. If you depend only on motivation, you will always fall back into laziness. Let me share a story. Imagine a young man who wants to improve his life. One night he feels inspired. He opens YouTube and finds motivational videos. He watches them for hours. The music is powerful. The speeches are emotional. He feels strong. He says to himself, "Yes, this time I will change. Tomorrow will be the start of a new life." The next morning, he wakes up early. He is full of energy. He makes a list of goals. He studies for 1 hour. He exercises. He feels proud. Day 1 is perfect. Day 2 is also strong. But then day 3 arrives. His alarm rings, but this time he feels tired. He thinks, maybe just 5 more minutes. He remembers the videos, but the strong feeling is gone. The fire inside him has become small. By the end of the week, he is back to his old routine, sleeping late, scrolling on his phone, making excuses. What happened? Did he suddenly become weak? Did he lose his ability? No. The truth is simple. Feelings are not strong enough to carry you long term. Motivation is like a spark from a match. It burns bright, but only for a few seconds. If you do not add wood, if you do not build a fire, the light dies. And when the light dies, laziness comes back. This is the mistake many people make. They believe the feeling of motivation will last forever. But feelings always change. Sometimes you feel excited. Sometimes you feel tired. Sometimes you feel sad. If your actions depend only on feelings, then your life becomes unstable. One day you move forward, the next day you stop. This is why so many people start strong but never finish. Now let us compare motivation with discipline. Motivation is the short burst. Discipline is the long, steady fire. Motivation says, "I feel like doing it today." Discipline says, "I will do it today, even if I don't feel like it." Motivation depends on your mood. Discipline depends on your decision. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is permanent. Imagine 2 students learning English. The first student waits for motivation. On Monday, he feels inspired. He studies for 2 hours. But on Tuesday, he feels lazy, so he does nothing. On Wednesday, he feels bored, so again, he does nothing. His progress is slow because he studies only when he feels like it. The second student does not depend on motivation. He makes a simple system. Every morning at 8 o'clock, he studies English for 20 minutes, no matter what. Some days he feels excited. Some days he feels tired. But he still does it. After 1 month, his progress is clear. After 6 months, he is speaking better, writing better, and feeling stronger. The difference is not intelligence. The difference is method. One depends on feelings. The other depends on systems. This is why laziness is not about weakness. You are not lazy because something is wrong with you. You are lazy because you are using the wrong method. You are waiting for the spark instead of building the fire. The problem is not your character. The problem is your strategy. Let's look at another example. Think about exercise. Many people feel motivated on January 1st. They buy gym clothes. They make big plans. For 1 week, they go every day. But by February, the gym is empty. Why? Because their plan was built only on motivation. When the feeling ended, their action ended too. The people who stay fit are not always the ones who feel motivated. They are the ones who build discipline. They go to the gym even when they are tired. They move their body even when they do not want to. This is why they succeed. So if motivation is not enough, what should you do? You must learn the secret mental trick that changes everything. This trick is simple but powerful. It shows you that action creates motivation, not the other way around. When you begin, even with small steps, you feel energy. When you wait for energy before beginning, you get nothing. Think again about our first young man. When his motivation disappeared, he stopped. But what if, instead of stopping, he had told himself, just start, just 5 minutes? If he had opened his book for 5 minutes, he would have felt new energy. His brain would have woken up. His body would have become active. The fire would have grown again. He would have discovered that action brings motivation. This is the lesson for you. Do not wait for feelings. Do not depend on the short spark. Build the steady fire. Use small daily actions. Build systems that carry you, even when you do not feel ready. Motivation is like sugar. It tastes sweet, but it cannot feed you for long. Discipline is like bread. It is simple, but it gives you real strength. The lazy path is waiting for the sweet taste of motivation. The strong path is choosing the steady food of discipline. One path leads to regret. The other path leads to growth. So now you see why motivation fails. It fails not because you are weak, but because you cannot build a life on something so short and unstable. To escape laziness, you need something stronger, something that lasts. And that something is the mental trick that nobody tells you. Act first, and the feeling will follow. In the next part, we will open this secret clearly. You will see how this trick works in daily life, and how you can use it to finally break free from laziness. Section 3. The mental trick nobody tells you. Now we come to the heart of this journey. You already know the cost of laziness. You already understand why motivation fails. But here is the secret that changes everything. Action comes first, then motivation. Most people believe the opposite. They think, I must feel ready before I start. But the truth is the opposite. You must start first, and then the feeling will come. This is the mental trick nobody tells you. Let me show you with a story. Imagine a student who wants to study English. It is evening and he feels tired. He thinks, I don't want to open my book. I don't feel ready. I will do it tomorrow. He sits on his bed, scrolling through his phone, wasting more time. But then he remembers this trick. He tells himself, just 5 minutes. I don't need to study for 1 hour. Only 5 minutes. He opens the book. He begins reading a small text. After 5 minutes, something changes. His brain feels more active. His body feels lighter. He keeps reading. 5 minutes becomes 20 minutes. 20 minutes becomes 1 hour. At the end, he feels proud. He thinks, I almost did nothing today, but because I started, I found energy. This is how the trick works. Action creates energy. Action creates motivation. Waiting for the perfect feeling is a trap. The right belief is not, I must feel ready before I act. The right belief is, I act first, then I feel ready. Think about exercise. Many people say, I don't want to go to the gym today. I feel lazy. But the moment they put on their shoes, step outside, and move their body, they feel better. Their blood moves, their mind clears, their energy grows. The action came before the feeling. Or think about cleaning your room. You look at the mess. Clothes are everywhere. Papers cover the desk. You sigh and think, I don't want to do this. It's too much. But then you say, I'll only fold 1 shirt. You fold it. Then you fold another. Soon the room looks cleaner. You feel lighter. You feel motivated to continue. Again, the action created the feeling. The same happens with English learning. If you wait for the right moment to feel motivated, you will wait forever. But if you just start with one sentence, one page, one exercise, you will find energy. A simple English phrase to remember this is, start small, and energy will follow. This phrase is powerful because it is easy to say and easy to use. Whenever laziness whispers in your ear, repeat this phrase. You don't need to start big. You don't need to finish everything. You only need to start small. The small start creates momentum. Momentum creates strength, and strength kills laziness. Now let's contrast again. The wrong belief is, I must feel ready before I act. This belief makes you a prisoner of your feelings. If you feel lazy, you do nothing. If you feel bored, you do nothing. Your life becomes controlled by emotion. This is the weak path. The right belief is, I act first, then I feel ready. This belief makes you free. You don't wait for feelings. You create them. You take action even when you feel tired, even when you feel lazy. And every time you act, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than laziness. This is the strong path. Let's return to our student. On one day, he follows the wrong belief. He says, I don't feel ready, so I will not study. He loses the whole evening. On another day, he follows the right belief. He says, I will start small, 5 minutes only. That 5 minutes grows into 1 hour. At the end of the week, his progress is clear. One belief gives him nothing but regret. The other belief gives him growth and pride. The beauty of this trick is that it works in every area of life. Do you need to write something for school or work? Start by writing just one sentence. Do you need to exercise? Start by doing only one push-up. Do you need to clean? Start with one small corner. The small start breaks the wall of laziness. Once you begin, the wall disappears. This is the truth most people never learn. They keep waiting for motivation, but motivation is a guest that comes only after you open the door. And the way to open the door is action. You do not sit and wait. You stand up and move. That is how you invite motivation into your life. So now, I want you to practice this idea. The next time you feel lazy, do not argue with yourself. Do not wait for the perfect time. Tell yourself, start small and energy will follow. Open the book. Write the first word. Take the first step. Do one thing. And you will see the power of action. This mental trick is simple, but it can change your whole life. It is not magic. It is not complicated. It is only this. Begin first, and then the feeling will come. Now you know the secret. But how can you use it in your daily routine? How can you make this trick a part of your life every single day? In the next section, we will explore the principle of starting small and winning big. You will see how little actions grow into big results, and how this mental trick becomes your daily weapon against laziness. Section 4. Start small, win big. Many people want big results quickly. They dream of running a marathon, speaking English perfectly, or finishing a big project in 1 week. They set heavy goals and they imagine success in a single step. But this approach usually fails. Big goals feel heavy. They feel impossible. When we try to do too much at once, we get tired, frustrated, and often quit. This is the trap of thinking too big. The key to success is not doing everything at once. The key is doing a little at a time, every day. Let me tell you a story. There was a man who wanted to run a marathon. On the first day, he decided to run 10 kilometers. He felt excited, but his legs were weak. He could not finish. The next day, he felt sore and tired. He skipped running for a week. Then he tried again, but again he failed. Soon he gave up completely. The big goal seemed impossible, and he learned nothing from his effort. Now, imagine another man. He also wants to run a marathon, but he starts differently. On the first day, he runs only 5 minutes. That is all. 5 minutes feels easy. He completes it. The next day, he runs another 5 minutes. After a week, he is running 20 minutes without pain. After a month, he runs 40 minutes. Step by step, little by little, he becomes stronger. After a year, he is ready to run 10 kilometers. 2 years later, he finishes his first marathon. He did not start with a heavy goal. He started with a tiny action, and it grew. This is the principle of small steps. Big, heavy goals create fear. Small, easy actions create confidence. Big goals make us stop before we start. Small goals make us move every day. The secret is to focus on one small action, just a little, and repeat it daily. This principle works in every area of life. Think about English learning. Many students want to speak fluently in 1 month. They try to study 5 hours a day. At first, they feel excited, but soon they are tired. They forget words. They lose focus. And after a week, they give up. The heavy goal destroys motivation. But if they study only 5 minutes a day, they can keep it up. 5 minutes of reading, 5 minutes of writing, 5 minutes of speaking. Step by step, little by little, their skills grow. After 1 month, they have learned much more than the student who tried to do too much. The idea is simple. Every day, do a small action. It can be reading a page, writing 1 sentence, or practicing 1 word. It is not about quantity. It is about consistency. Small actions are easier to start. They are easier to repeat. And when repeated, they become a habit. Habits are the foundation of big results. Big results are only the natural outcome of many small actions done over time. Let's return to the marathon story. The first man wanted everything at once. His effort was heavy, painful, and short-lived. The second man started small. His effort was light, steady, and lasting. After months and years, his small actions added up. The difference is not luck. The difference is method. One man depended on willpower for a heavy goal. The other man relied on tiny steps for lasting growth. This principle works for studying, exercise, cleaning, and even work projects. If you need to write an essay, start with 1 paragraph. If you need to clean your room, start with 1 corner. If you want to exercise, start with 1 push-up or 5 minutes of walking. Every small action builds energy, confidence, and progress. Every tiny step proves to yourself that you are capable. Here is a simple English phrase to remember. Step by step, little by little. Repeat this phrase whenever you feel overwhelmed by a big goal. Remember that even the largest mountain is climbed 1 step at a time. You do not need to do everything today. You only need to do the first step. After the first step, the second step becomes easier. The third step becomes easier still. Momentum grows from small actions. And this is why small steps are powerful. They teach you discipline. They teach you patience. They teach you how to focus on the process. not only the result. Big goals make you anxious because you focus only on the result. Small steps make you happy because you focus on progress. Every small win gives motivation, and motivation grows naturally from action. Now, I want you to try it in your life. Choose one small action today. Read one page of English, write one sentence, or take one small walk. Do it consistently, 5 minutes today, 5 minutes tomorrow. Step by step, little by little, your life will change. You do not need to wait for perfect conditions or great energy. Begin small, and your energy will grow naturally. The next step is to build on this principle. Once you start small, you can use momentum to keep moving forward. Momentum is the invisible force that turns tiny actions into big results. When you combine small steps with momentum, laziness loses its power and your confidence grows. So now, you understand the secret of starting small. The key to big success is not big action, but repeated small action. You do not need heavy goals. You need consistent, tiny steps. And with every small step, you are creating the future you want. In the next section, we will see how to use momentum to make these small actions unstoppable. Section 5. The power of momentum. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in life, but many people do not understand it. Momentum is simple. Once you start, it becomes easier to continue. It is like pushing a heavy car. At first, the car does not move. Your hands hurt. Your body is tired. It feels impossible. But the moment the car moves even a little, it becomes lighter. Every push after that is easier. That is momentum. It does not exist until you take the first step, but once it begins, it carries you forward. Let me give you a story. A young woman wants to clean her house. The floor is dirty, clothes are on the bed, dishes are everywhere. She looks at the mess and thinks, I cannot do it. It is too much. But she remembers the trick. Start small. She decides to pick up just one shirt. She folds it and puts it away. Then she picks up another shirt. Suddenly, she feels energy. Her mind feels lighter. She continues. The dishes seem less heavy. The floor looks cleaner. By the end of the morning, she has finished the work. Her small action started momentum. The first step was the hardest, but once she began, everything became easier. Now think about learning English. Many learners feel tired when they open a book or start speaking. The first few minutes are the hardest. Words feel difficult, sentences feel confusing, and motivation feels low. But after a few minutes, something changes. The brain begins to work. Memory starts to recall words. Confidence grows. Suddenly, studying becomes easier, more natural, and even enjoyable. That is the power of momentum. Just begin, and the rest becomes lighter. Contrast this with doing nothing. When you do not act, your mind feels heavy. Thoughts pile up. I should study, but I am too tired. I should exercise, but I will wait. I want to change, but I do not know where to start. Your mind becomes stuck. Zero action creates stress, anxiety, and fear. Every unstarted task weighs on you like a stone. This is the trap of inactivity. Your mind becomes heavy, and laziness wins. Now, contrast with taking a small action. You write one sentence, you fold one shirt, you walk for 1 minute. Suddenly the mind feels lighter. Your energy increases. You feel capable. Your confidence grows. The stone of laziness becomes smaller with every step. Action, even tiny, produces momentum, and momentum produces freedom. Let me tell you another story. A man wants to exercise every morning, but he always sleeps late. One day, he decides to start. He puts on his shoes and walks outside for only 2 minutes. It feels small, almost useless. But then he notices the fresh air. His legs move, his heart beats faster, and he feels stronger. He continues walking for 10 minutes. The next day, he starts with 5 minutes and continues for 20. The small start created momentum. Weeks later, he runs every morning without thinking. He did not start strong. He started small. But momentum made him unstoppable. Momentum is not magic. It is not about feeling motivated. It is about taking the first action. That first step is like lighting a fire. The energy you feel after starting comes from movement, not from waiting. You cannot wait for the perfect feeling. You must begin. The phrase to remember is simple. Just begin. Just begin, even with a tiny step, and the momentum will carry you forward. This principle works in every part of life. Writing, reading, studying, cleaning, exercising, learning English, or working on a project, all require a start. Every completed first step creates momentum. Even if it feels small, the result is powerful. Small steps add up. Little energy becomes more energy. Tiny progress becomes visible results. Many people fail because they do not start. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect feeling, or the perfect plan. That moment rarely comes. That feeling rarely arrives. Zero action creates zero momentum. The mind becomes heavy, and the cycle of laziness continues. But action, even tiny action, creates a chain reaction. The first push breaks the barrier. The next push is easier. The following push is even easier. Momentum grows, and laziness cannot keep up. Remember, momentum is also mental. Once you act, your brain rewards you with energy and confidence. You see that you are capable. Your self-image begins to change. You are no longer someone who waits and procrastinates. You are someone who acts. Your identity begins to shift from lazy to capable. And this identity change is powerful. So, the lesson is clear. Do not wait. Do not hesitate. Do not overthink. Choose one small action now. Write one sentence. Walk 1 minute. Open your book. Fold one shirt. Just begin. That first step is the most important step of all. It creates momentum, and momentum will carry you forward. In the next section, we will explore one of the biggest challenges to momentum: excuses. Excuses are the invisible walls that stop you from taking that first step. We will learn how to defeat them, how to protect momentum, and how to make small actions become unstoppable habits. Once you master excuses, your momentum will grow stronger every day, helping you move faster toward your goals. Section 6. Defeating excuses. Excuses are the favorite friends of laziness. They are easy to believe, comfortable to repeat, and dangerous because they stop you from moving forward. Every day, many people tell themselves the same excuses. I am too tired. I will do it tomorrow. I am not ready yet. These words feel safe. They give temporary comfort, but they steal your life, little by little, like a silent thief. Let me tell you a story. A young student wants to improve his English. Every evening he plans to study. But when the time comes, he says, I am too tired. The next day he says, I will do it tomorrow. Tomorrow comes, and again he says, I am not ready yet. Days turn into weeks, Weeks turn into months, and months turn into years. He looks back and realizes he has learned very little. He feels regret. His excuses gave him comfort, but they stole his progress. Contrast this with another student. He feels the same tiredness. He also thinks, "I will do it tomorrow." But he remembers the secret trick. Start small. He tells himself, "I will do only 5 minutes." Even if he is tired, he opens his book. He reads 1 page. He writes 1 sentence. In those 5 minutes, he feels energy. The next day, he studies for 10 minutes. Small action leads to more action. Step by step, he builds momentum, and excuses lose their power. This is the difference between the excuse life and the action life. In the excuse life, every day is delayed. Nothing gets done. Dreams stay dreams. The mind feels heavy. You always hope for the perfect moment, but it never comes. In the action life, small steps break the chain of excuses. Every tiny action proves to your brain that you are capable. You are no longer a victim of your excuses. You are a master of your choices. Here is a simple way to defeat excuses. Answer every excuse with 1 phrase. Only 5 minutes. You do not need to do more. You do not need to feel perfect. You do not need to wait for energy. 5 minutes is enough to begin. 5 minutes is enough to break the wall of laziness. 5 minutes is enough to start momentum. And once you start, you will often continue naturally. Imagine your favorite show is on TV. You watch 1 episode and you get hooked. You cannot stop. Excuses work in reverse. They stop you from starting. But the 5-minute rule tricks your brain into action. You begin with tiny effort, and the reward is energy, focus, and confidence. Humor also helps. Tell yourself, "I am only doing 5 minutes, not climbing a mountain." Smile, laugh. Enjoy the small start. Small action does not feel like work, but it leads to big results. Even famous people use this method. Writers write 1 sentence. Athletes do 1 push-up. Musicians practice 1 note. Every expert started with a small step. They did not wait for perfect conditions. They ignored excuses. They just began. And those small beginnings grew into mastery. Excuses are also emotional traps. They make you feel safe. "I am too tired," feels like rest. "I will do it tomorrow," feels like control. "I am not ready," feels like protection. But this safety is false. It is a trap. Every excuse keeps you weak. Every excuse delays your growth. Every excuse strengthens laziness. You must fight them with humor, action, and the 5-minute rule. Here's another story to make it clear. A student hates cleaning his desk. Every day he says, "I will do it tomorrow." He sits on his chair, watching videos. Weeks pass. The desk becomes a mountain of papers. Then one day he says, "Only 5 minutes." He clears 1 corner. He laughs at himself for waiting so long. That 1 corner motivates him to clean another corner. Soon, the desk is clean. He feels proud. Excuses lose. Action wins. The key is repetition. Every time an excuse appears, answer with action. Not a big action, not a perfect action, just a tiny start. Open the book. Write 1 sentence. Fold 1 shirt. Walk for 5 minutes. Every small action trains your brain to ignore excuses and embrace action. Humor and emotion make it easier. Smile when you hear the excuses in your mind. Imagine them as silly characters trying to stop you. Laugh at them, then move. Take your 5 minutes. Celebrate that tiny victory. The brain remembers victories no matter how small. Over time, excuses lose their power completely. You feel lighter, happier, and stronger. Once you defeat excuses, you are ready for the next step, building discipline. Discipline is the long-term engine that keeps you moving after the first 5 minutes. Excuses block your first step. Momentum carries you for a short time. Discipline ensures that you continue even when the fire of motivation slows down. But before you can build discipline, you must fight excuses every day, and the 5-minute rule is your weapon. Remember, laziness loves excuses, but action loves small steps. Excuses give comfort, but action gives freedom. Excuses delay growth, but action creates momentum. Excuses are temporary, but the results of small action last forever. Every time you choose 5 minutes over an excuse, you are winning. Every small victory builds confidence. Every small victory breaks laziness. In the next section, we will explore how to build real discipline so that you no longer need to fight excuses every day. We will learn how to turn small actions into habits that last, creating unstoppable progress in English, personal growth, and life. Section 7. Building discipline like a muscle. Discipline is like a muscle. At first, it feels heavy and difficult. Your body and mind resist it. You feel tired, bored, and frustrated. But if you practice daily, it grows stronger. Over time, what was once difficult becomes natural. What once felt impossible becomes easy. Discipline is not about waiting for motivation. It is about building strength through repeated action, like training in a gym. Let me tell you a story. A young learner wants to improve his English. At first, he studies only when he feels motivated. Some days, he studies 1 hour. Some days, he does nothing. His progress is slow, and he feels frustrated. Then he changes his approach. He decides to study every day at the same time for just 20 minutes. The first week is hard. He wants to skip. He feels tired. But he does it anyway. He sets a routine. Every day, same time, small effort. After 2 weeks, he notices a change. His brain starts to expect the practice. He does not need to force himself as much. 20 minutes feels easier. After 1 month, the practice becomes natural. Opening the book is no longer a struggle. He feels proud. He has built discipline. The small daily actions strengthened his discipline muscle, and now he can do more without relying on motivation. Contrast this with random effort. Random effort is studying only when you feel like it, exercising only when you have energy, or working only when you remember. It is unpredictable. Some days are strong. Some days are weak. Progress is slow, and frustration grows. Random effort does not build strength because it is inconsistent. Discipline, in contrast, is consistent. It is reliable. It trains your mind to perform even when motivation is low. The key to building discipline is repetition and routine. Small actions repeated every day add up. This is why you should practice at the same time daily. Your mind begins to expect it. Your brain adapts. What once felt heavy now feels light. This is the power of consistency. Every day, a little more becomes a lot over time. Every small effort compounds into real growth. Discipline is also about patience. You do not see results immediately. You do not become fluent in English in 1 week. You do not build strength in 1 day. But if you practice daily, over weeks and months, the results are undeniable. You begin to notice improvement. You feel confident. You see that your effort is not wasted. You feel proud because you are in control of your actions. Let's return to our student. At first, he struggles to speak English. He forgets words, he makes mistakes, and he feels frustrated. But he continues every day. He reads a few sentences, writes a small paragraph, and repeats vocabulary exercises. At first, he feels awkward. He wants to give up. But after a month, speaking becomes easier. After 3 months, he can hold short conversations. After 6 months, he notices real progress. Discipline, built like a muscle, creates long-term success. Here is a simple English phrase to remember: every day, a little more. Repeat it to yourself whenever you want to skip practice. It reminds you that discipline is not about doing everything at once. It is about doing a little consistently. A small daily action repeated creates momentum, builds habits, and strengthens your inner strength. Discipline also protects you from laziness. When you build a routine, excuses have less power. Your mind expects the daily action. You no longer need to wait for motivation or energy. Discipline carries you. Random effort depends on feeling. Discipline depends on choice. The more you practice, the stronger your choice becomes. Your brain and body adapt. Your actions become automatic. Laziness loses its control. Think about a gym again. At first, lifting weights is difficult. Your muscles burn. Your arms feel heavy. You want to stop. But if you train every day, lifting a little more each time, your muscles grow stronger. You lift more easily. You feel proud. You can do more without struggle. Discipline works the same way in life. Small, repeated actions strengthen your mind and your habits. Discipline also changes your identity. When you practice daily, you begin to see yourself differently. You are no longer someone who waits and procrastinates. You are someone who takes action even when it is hard. You are someone who keeps promises to yourself. Your identity shifts from lazy to capable. Your beliefs about yourself transform. This is the real power of discipline. It is not only action, it is identity. So, to summarize, discipline is like a muscle. Build it through small, repeated actions. Use routine and consistency. Protect yourself from excuses. Focus on every day a little more. Step by step, your mind becomes stronger. Your habits become natural. Laziness loses power. Motivation becomes less important because your discipline carries you. In the next section, we will explore how discipline and momentum together transform your identity completely. You will see how taking consistent action changes not only what you do, but also who you are. And when your identity changes, laziness cannot return. Section 8. Change your identity, change your life. Your identity shapes your actions. If you say, "I am lazy," your brain listens. Your mind believes it. You begin to act in ways that match that identity. Laziness becomes part of who you are. Every excuse feels natural. Every delay feels normal. But here is the secret. You can change your identity, and when you do, your actions will change too. Your life changes with it. Let me tell you a story. There was a man who always called himself lazy. Every morning he said, "I am lazy, I cannot study, I cannot exercise, I cannot change," and he acted the same way. He slept late, he procrastinated, he avoided challenges. One day, he read about a mental trick. Identity shapes action. He decided to try it. Instead of saying, "I am lazy," he began saying, "I am a person who takes action." At first it felt strange. His mind resisted. He laughed at himself. But he repeated the new identity every day. In the morning he said, I am a doer, not a dreamer. In the evening, he said, I take small steps every day. Slowly, something changed. The words he spoke became the thoughts he believed. The thoughts influenced his feelings, and the feelings influenced his actions. The first day, he opened his English book for 5 minutes. It was small, almost nothing, but he did it. The next day, he added 10 minutes. The day after, he reviewed new vocabulary. Each small action matched his new identity. He was no longer lazy, he was a doer. Momentum began to grow. Energy replaced hesitation. Confidence replaced doubt. Contrast this with his old self. When he identified as lazy, even easy tasks felt heavy. He procrastinated. He made excuses. Time passed and nothing changed. That was the identity of laziness. Now contrast it with his new identity. Action becomes natural. Even small tasks feel possible. Excuses lose power. Motivation is no longer required. This is the identity of action. You can see the power of words and beliefs. Simple affirmations in English can help. For example, you can say, I am a doer, not a dreamer. Or, I take action every day. Or, small steps create big results. Repeat these phrases daily. Speak them out loud. Write them in a notebook. Your brain begins to accept these words as truth. Your mind begins to work toward this identity. Identity is also about self-image. When you see yourself as someone who acts, your behavior follows. You start small. You follow the 5-minute rule. You build discipline like a muscle. You feel momentum. All the tools we learned in the previous sections now make sense because they align with your identity. When your identity supports action, action is easier. You do not force yourself. You naturally take steps toward growth. Let's return to the man. Weeks after changing his identity, he noticed progress. He could read English for 30 minutes without stopping. He could write paragraphs. He felt proud of himself. Others noticed changes too. Friends said he seemed more focused, more energetic, more confident. All of this came from changing his identity first. His actions followed naturally. Success was no longer a dream. It was a habit. Here is another tip. Whenever you catch yourself thinking, I am lazy, pause. Replace it immediately with your new identity. Say, I am a person who acts. Watch what happens. Your mind will begin to follow the words. Your actions will begin to follow the mind. This is a mental shortcut to defeating laziness permanently. Contrast identity clearly. The lazy identity says, I cannot. The action identity says, I will try. The lazy identity waits for perfect conditions. The action identity starts small, builds momentum, and grows stronger every day. The lazy identity fears effort. The action identity welcomes small effort as a step toward growth. Your identity determines how you face life, challenges, and opportunities. This shift is powerful because it is long-term. Tools, tricks, and habits work temporarily. Identity change works forever. Once you believe, I am a doer, laziness becomes a weak part of your past. You begin to act automatically. Momentum grows. Discipline strengthens. Motivation becomes easier. Your life begins to reflect the identity you choose. So, start today. Speak your new identity. Repeat simple affirmations. Act small, 5 minutes at a time, in ways that match your identity. Slowly, your thoughts, feelings, and actions will align. You will see change. You will feel proud. You will become someone who does not wait for the perfect moment. You will become someone unstoppable. In the next section, we will tie this identity change to long-term success. We will see how building action, momentum, and discipline creates results that last for years, not days. You will learn how your new identity becomes the foundation for a life of achievement, growth, and confidence. Section 9. The long-term vision. Many people want big results quickly. They want to speak English fluently in 1 month, exercise perfectly in 1 week, or finish a big project in a few days. When they do not see fast progress, they feel frustrated and give up. This is the trap of short-term thinking. The secret to real change is a long-term vision. Big life changes come from small, consistent actions over years, not from one intense effort. Let me tell you a story. There was a student who wanted to speak English confidently. At first, he felt nervous. He worried about making mistakes. He thought he needed to study for hours every day. But he remembered the secret. Small steps, 5 minutes at a time. He studied only 15 minutes daily. He read a few sentences, wrote a short paragraph, and repeated vocabulary exercises. Some days, he felt tired or distracted. Some days, he only did 10 minutes. But he never stopped completely. Months passed. A few words became sentences. Sentences became paragraphs. Paragraphs became conversations. After 6 months, he could speak simple English confidently. After 1 year, he could watch English videos without subtitles. After 2 years, he could speak fluently with friends, give presentations, and travel without fear. His small daily actions, repeated consistently, had transformed his life. The long-term vision made the small effort meaningful. Contrast this with short-term comfort. Many learners try to study only when they feel motivated. They skip days, weeks, or months because studying feels heavy or boring. They seek comfort. They avoid small challenges. They want instant results. The result is frustration, regret, and slow progress. Short-term comfort feels good in the moment, but it steals long-term success. You trade small, easy pleasure today for bigger results tomorrow. The long-term vision teaches patience. It shows that time is your friend if you use it well. Every minute counts. Every day matters. Even small actions, when repeated consistently over months and years, create extraordinary results. Time becomes an ally, not an enemy. You are not limited by today. You are building the future version of yourself. Let's return to our student. Some days he felt lazy. He wanted to skip English. But he remembered his long-term vision. He imagined himself speaking fluently, traveling, studying abroad, making friends, or working confidently. That image of the future self motivated him to take action today. 15 minutes, no excuses, no delay. Every small effort added up, slowly but surely, until the results were visible. You can use the same strategy in any area of life. Exercise, work, learning, saving money, or improving habits. All grow from small, repeated actions. Short-term comfort is tempting. Watching one more video, scrolling social media, or sleeping a little longer feels easy. But long-term success comes to those who take the first step today, even if it is small, and continue every day. Here is a simple English phrase to remember. Time is your friend if you use it well. Repeat it to yourself whenever you feel impatient, lazy, or frustrated. It reminds you that every small action counts. It reminds you to think about the future version of yourself. Imagine who you want to be in 1 year, 2 years, or 5 years. Take steps today that align with that vision. Every small step becomes a building block for your long-term success. Contrast again. Short-term thinking focuses only on comfort and immediate pleasure. You feel good today, but regret tomorrow. Long-term thinking focuses on consistent action, small steps, and patience. You may feel uncomfortable now, but in months and years the reward is extraordinary. The discomfort is temporary. The results are permanent. Your long-term vision also strengthens identity. The person who acts daily becomes the person who succeeds. Identity, action, momentum, and discipline all work together. Every small choice you make today strengthens the identity of a doer, a learner, a winner. The small actions that may feel invisible now are shaping your character and your future. So, start thinking beyond today. Imagine yourself 1 year from now. Imagine speaking English fluently, completing a big project, or reaching your health goals. Imagine the pride and confidence you will feel. Then take one small action today that moves you closer to that vision. Even 15 minutes, even 5 minutes, even one sentence counts. Time, repeated effort, and patience will do the rest. In the next and final section, we will bring everything together. We will see how action, momentum, discipline, identity, and long-term vision combine to defeat laziness permanently. We will also give you a clear call to action so you can start using these principles today and transform your life. Section 10. Conclusion. We have come to the final part of this journey. Congratulations for staying with me until now. You have learned something very important. Laziness is not a life sentence. It is not something you are born with or something that defines you forever. Laziness is a habit, and like any habit, it can be broken. You can change it, step by step, action by action, day by day. Today, you are learning the tools to do just that. Think back to the beginning. Maybe you recognized yourself in the person who delays, who says, "I will do it tomorrow," or "I am too tired." Maybe you felt heavy, stuck, and frustrated. That was your old self, the self controlled by laziness, excuses, and fear. But today, you are learning a new approach. You are discovering the mental trick that nobody tells you. Action comes first. Motivation follows. This simple truth can change everything. Remember the stories we shared. The student who opened his English book for 5 minutes, even when he did not feel like it, eventually built momentum and confidence. The man who ran 5 minutes a day eventually completed a marathon. The student who changed his identity from lazy to a doer transformed his actions, his mind, and his life. These examples show that anyone can start small, repeat actions consistently, and grow into a person who achieves goals and dreams. Contrast your old self with your new self. Your old self waited for perfect conditions, procrastinated, made excuses, and felt regret. Your new self acts first, builds momentum, strengthens discipline, and slowly transforms identity. The small actions you take every day may feel invisible now, but they are building the foundation for your future. Every 5 minutes you study, write, exercise, or take a small step toward a goal is a victory. Every small action grows into confidence, skill, and success. The secret to this change is simple, but it works. Just begin. Do not wait to feel ready. Do not wait for motivation. Take a tiny action today, even if it is only 5 minutes. Open your English book. Write one sentence. Fold one shirt. Walk for a few minutes. That first step lights the fire. Momentum carries you forward, Discipline builds strength, identity changes, and over time, these small actions create big results. Your English learning journey is a perfect place to practice this. Even if you are a beginner, study a few minutes daily. Learn one new word, read one paragraph, speak one sentence. Over weeks and months, you will notice improvement. Your confidence will grow. Speaking, listening, writing, and reading will feel easier. This is not just about English. This is about training your mind to act, to build momentum, to defeat excuses, and to strengthen discipline. Your personal life works the same way. Small daily actions, tidying your room, exercising, planning your day, helping someone, accumulate into big life changes. Laziness loses power when you choose action over comfort, day after day. Step by step, little by little, you are creating the person you want to be. Capable, confident, and unstoppable. Let me remind you of the phrases we learned. Start small, and energy will follow. Step by step, little by little. And I am a doer, not a dreamer. Repeat them daily. Say them when you feel hesitation or excuses creeping in. These words are not just affirmations. They are reminders of your new identity, your commitment, and your power to change. They help your mind align with your actions, making laziness weaker every day. Contrast again. Old habits bring short-term comfort, but long-term regret. New habits bring effort and small challenges today, but confidence, freedom, and success tomorrow. You can see the difference. The choice is in your hands. You can wait and feel frustrated, or you can act and feel proud. You can let excuses control you, or you can take 5 minutes today and start building a life you love. Here is the emotional truth. Your future is waiting. It is waiting for the person who acts, the person who begins now, the person who does not wait for perfect conditions. Your future self will thank you for the small steps you take today. Every moment you delay is a moment lost, but every moment you act is a moment invested in your dreams. You have the power to start. You have the power to grow. You have the power to stop being lazy and begin creating your life. So start today. Take one small action. Open a book. Write a sentence. Take a short walk. Speak one English phrase. 5 minutes is enough. Action will create momentum. Momentum will strengthen discipline. Discipline will change your identity. And your identity will transform your life. Small steps repeated daily become unstoppable growth. Finally, I want to invite you to stay on this journey. Subscribe to Read and Learn English. Here, we share more stories, practical tips, and motivational strategies that improve your English and your life at the same time. Every video is designed to help you act, learn, and grow step by step. Together, we will defeat laziness, build confidence, and create the future you dream of. Remember this: laziness is temporary, action is powerful, and your future is waiting. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for tomorrow. Begin now. Take the first step. 5 minutes today, and your life will never be the same. You are capable. You are strong. You are a doer, not a dreamer. Begin now.